Hi everyone, it's Dan from Akai here with Sonic State, and we're here to talk about the advanced keyboards. This one right here is the Advanced 61. We also have an Advanced 49 and an Advanced 25. They also all feature this awesome 4.3-inch color screen, 8 knobs, 8 pads, 8 buttons. Inside the VIP software you have 4 banks of controls. So you can, right now we actually have a Absinthe plugin loaded, and these are the macro controls for Absinthe. But for instance, if I wanted to go to, we'll say FM8, we can go down here, choose FM8, and then if I want to narrow it down a little bit better, I can go over to instruments. We'll say, all right, I just want to have maybe some mallets, and I want to look at some, we'll say, I don't know, let's say we want to look for electronics, and now this is going to give us all of the FM8 presets that have been tagged with those parameters. So I'll just press it, load it on up. You know, I can go over back to the main page, and I can scroll through all the plugins I can scroll through all the presets really fast. Right now I'm just looking at one VST, but if I want to go here, I can also just clear it all out, go back to my plugins, and let's say I want to grab a, I don't know, let's say we want to grab a, let's pick structure, for instance. You can pull up structure. Now we're looking at all the structure plugins. Want to do some Time Warp 2600, we can pull that down. And then anytime you go over here to the controls, you have all the parameters that you might want to control. You can custom.
Are they macros or are they actually control for control?
Are they macros?
Are they the macros of that instrument? Or
they can be, yeah. You can any VST parameter that's available, you can actually map it to it. What we've done is for like massive things like that, it's the macro controls on the first page. There's 8 of them, and then from there you can go a little deeper. But you can customize it. I'll actually show you how to customize it. If you go on the screen, whatever control you're highlighted on, you just hit it, and then here you can go ahead and select any VST preset, any VST parameter right here. You can set the min-max ranges, or you can also go over here to VST parameter. You can change that to a MIDI CC. And then what you're doing now is you're actually controlling you're just sending a MIDI CC, and we indicate it's a MIDI CC just by changing the color of it. That way, if you have you want to directly control something in Ableton, or if you're using Omnisphere, some of the Omnisphere stuff only the CCs will work. So this kind of solves that problem.
So is it kind of like a derivative of the Arsenal idea, where you've got the kind of host, and then you can run plugins from within it, right?
Yeah, there's a lot of Arsenal DNA in here. This is obviously the next evolution of that software.
So just coming back to these are big knobs and big pads. It's kind of good chunky stuff.
Yeah, the 25 has standard size knobs, but these nice big performance knobs. This was actually, from the beginning, this is what I wanted. I wanted a keyboard that, you could see from stage that I was grabbing the knob and really doing something exciting with it.
And the pads, are they pressure and velocity?
Yep, velocity and pressure sensitive. Right now they're running note repeat. We can turn that off, but you can see we can change. We got 4 banks of them. And also, one other really cool thing I want to show you guys too is if you do Shift Main, now we're actually in DAW, the control for your DAW. And if I go to like Ableton Live, what we're going to do is have these be the first device, the 8 device controls, and then these pads, I can customize them to be whatever color I want. You can change the colors over here, and then one thing I want to show you too, that's just actually really neat, is called setlist mode. So if I go back into VIP and I go to setlist mode, what this now is this is a list of all of my presets for I want to grab for a particular gig. So like for instance, let's say for a song I know I'm going to need bass down here on the left hand side. I'm going to need piano down here. The next track I'm going to need a Moog lead. Next one I'm going to need a Time Warp lead. Anything like that, we can go ahead and grab it, and it puts it all nice and organized in one place. It's really fun to use.
So does that mean this keyboard does splits?
It does, yeah. Actually, come on over here. I'll show you. We have multi-mode right here. What multi-mode allows you to do is it allows you to split your keys here. I can actually load in. Right now, I have an instance of FM8. If I go to the browser, now what you see up here, we have different colors for slots. I have 8 slots available, so what I'm going to do is now let me put in a Time Warp VST. Hit that button there, loads it on up, and then you go back to multi. Now I've got FM8 here, and I've got Time Warp 2600 here. Right, and now I can set the zones, I can control the volume, I can mute, do whatever.
So there's that whole thing in the press release about motion compatibility. I mean, what are the limitations?
Well, the limitations are there's a few, actually two that I can think of, companies that they don't handle their VST presets in a typical way. So what we're doing is we're actually manually mapping some of those for our customers. We also, if the VST, I'm going to show you this because this is actually done from the computer. If the VST doesn't, the presets don't come in, what you can do is you can manually bring in a preset, but just by clicking that button there, or if you on a map control click it, you can import the whole bank. And what that does is when you import the whole bank, we look for tagging, and we automatically tag all of the, like for instance, if the name of the preset is Moog Bass, we tag it for analog, vintage, classic, and bass. And the thing is, I can make a VST tomorrow, and it can be made I can make it in SynthEdit. So
VST it has to be a VST, not AU.
Yes, correct.
But the plugin itself can be AU.
Exactly. So, for instance, you can run any VST instrument, virtually any VST instrument, because there's a lot out there. We haven't tried all of them, but you never know. But it runs then as an AU, RTAS, AAX, or VST instrument. That means you can run VSTs in Logic. You can run VSTs inside of Pro Tools too.
So that's down to your what is your host environment called? That's the advanced.
Yeah, it's the VIP is the name of the software, Virtual Instrument Player.
And that will allow you to run VSTs inside AU or AAX.
Right, exactly.
It's a complex notion, but it's actually simple when you can get it.
Well, most of the time when you install an AU, you get a choice to install one of three, and most people don't even unclick. I know I don't. I install all three versions anyway.
So more about the keyboard. What's the touch like? Is it aftertouch, that sort of stuff?
It's velocity sensitivity, aftertouch. It's the same keyboard as the MPK2 series. So the new ones we just released last NAMM, these are the keybeds. This is the same keybed. It's a great feel. The original MPKs, some people thought the touch was too heavy. So this one, it's a much improved feel, nice and light. It's a really good, even balanced feel.
So are there any limitations? So the screen, what's happening on the screen? Is that pulling graphics from the host, or is that all in the actual firmware of the keyboard itself?
It's a combination. Some of the graphics are internal into the firmware to speed things up. Some of them are actually piped through the software. We use some proprietary data that we pass back and forth that allows you to be able to scroll through presets really fast. Everything feels like hardware, and that's really what we were shooting for.
And what about connections for controllers and what have you on the back of the keyboard?
Okay, back here you have power. So if you don't want to drain your battery on the laptop, or if you just want to run it as a generic MIDI controller, you can. It's got MIDI in and out, and then sustain and expression pedal. And a Kensington log.
Very handy in this environment.
Yes.
So when are these guys going to be out, and how much are their models?
49 will be out Q1, so late spring, and then following about a month or two after will be the 61 and the 25.
And what does it ship with a bunch of content as well?
It does, actually. It's going to be shipping with a lot of content from our Air music group and from Sonovox. It's going to be shipping with, let me see if I can name it all. It's going to be shipping with Loom, Vacuum Pro, Transfuser, Structure, Expand 2, Hybrid 3, and the 88. Oh, and Velvet too, so that'll be also there.
Great, thank you very much, Dan.
No problem, thank you.